Hi, how are you?
Hey, Mr. Panny, how are you?
I'm good. Hi, Mrs. Cunningham. Hi, artists.
Hi, friends, Lindemann, Benny, Arno.
Boys and girls, we wanted to do a video for you because with our new school at home environment, we are going to be teaching together. So you never really see us together. Some of our Arno students might know both of us, but we wanted to do a video to kind of introduce ourselves and get you guys used to seeing us teaching together because we're going to be kind of experimenting with that in the next couple of weeks. We're looking forward to it.
We sure are. Um, Mr. Panny and I have been teaching a long time, and I have been in Allen Park for 21 years, and I am so happy to get to work with Mr. Panny and to share Arno with her. I teach all of Benny, but I'm anxious to get to work with some of my Lindemann kids too. Mr. Panny, how long have you been here now?
This year is my 10th year, so it's kind of a big year for me. I'm excited, and we have been working together this whole time, and I've been learning so much from Mrs. Cunningham. We once in a while we teach together as a team in an art club or something, but we're kind of really looking forward to this virtual art class experience with you guys. So I teach at Lindemann, and then I teach a little bit at Arno, and then I'm looking forward to meeting my Ben friends and seeing your art.
It's really cool too because Mr. Panny and I are friends outside of the teaching world, and we do things together. And so this is a way that we're learning how to be together while we're staying at home.
Yeah. So we've actually created some art that we want to share with you guys, and we thought it would be a cool idea to create a work of art that tells you about ourselves, kind of a cool show and tell. And we actually haven't seen each other's art either. So we both have our art kind of sitting next to ourselves, and we're going to share it with each other at the same time and learn about each other. So this is Cunningham. Do you want to go first?
I sure will. I'm pretty excited. Mr. Panny kind of threw the idea out, and I worked really hard this morning on it, and I experimented with the tools I had. I'm pretty lucky because behind me you can see I have a little studio room set up with some materials. But when you do the projects with us, you do not need to worry about how many or a variety of materials you have. What we're going to work with you on in the videos, we'll be able to work with whatever you've got at home. So here's my self-portrait. I hope Mr. Panny can see it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she's going to take a look at it and maybe ask me some questions. And I can do some explaining to Mr. Panny if there's something you see that looks interesting to you, or if there's something you can't see very well.
Yeah, can you move it a little closer to the camera?
I can.
Your eyes really well. They're really big and bright, and you're wearing jewelry like you always have. I think I see some
Can't help that.
flowers, and I also see looks like some carrots down there in the corner. What's that all about?
Well, something that I love to do is I love to grow a garden. And I used to have a garden just of flowers. And a couple years ago, I started a vegetable garden. So it's not quite spring enough yet, but we did start our seeds inside and we're getting ready to work the soil. And so this year, we're going to make our vegetable garden a little bigger. And if you look closely over in my garden, Mr. Panny, you're going to see something else that makes me growing in my garden.
It's a little tough to
Can
see.
you see it?
Is it that art palette? Art makes you grow?
Art makes me grow. And so in my garden, I have some paint brushes growing as well.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. It looks like
Thank
right
you.
on that paint palette. I think I see a paw print. So I'm wondering what those words in
Ah,
the paw print say.
well, I didn't have quite enough room, I thought, to put in all the members of my family that matters. So I represented that with a heart. And inside the heart, it's telling some of the things I am. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of two kids. One boy who is 13 and one girl who is 17. I'm a sister. I'm an aunt. I love my friends. My friends are part of my family. And of course, the paw prints represent my 2 dogs. I should have maybe put some fish and chicken in there too. I've got those as pets as well.
Yeah, you have a lot of pets. Yeah. And then Mrs. Cunningham lives in a really cool spot on an island here in the Downriver area. And she lives right on a canal. And so she is able to kind of walk down by the water each day and see turtles. And so I'm super jealous because I do not have that here where I live, but she is right out in nature.
And what's cool is Mr. Panny lives in a part of Downriver where I used to live, on a street that was just one street over from my old house. So that's kind of a interesting connection. See anything else, Mr. Panny?
I think I see some music notes, and I know that you drew something else in the area, but it looks kind of like a path to me.
This road represents that I love adventure. And when we could travel, I like to travel a lot. I think that's something we have in common. But you can take adventures in all different ways. So that road is now kind of representing the adventures I take every day when I walk my dogs. I listen to music all the time, or I'm really into audiobooks lately. So I've been listening to a lot of books telling me stories when I'm on my adventures.
Very cool. And then I think I see something in the corner there. Oh, are those tools from your kitchen up there in the corner?
They are. This is my kitchen. It's got my stove, my oven, and all of my cooking utensils. That's where I spend really most of the time when I'm not at school. I love to cook, probably when I'm a lot older and I retire onto another career. I'd like to be a chef someday. So that's representing that part of my life. Tonight I'm making spaghetti and meatballs.
Very cool. You guys don't know this, but Mrs. Cunningham is a phenomenal cook. I always love going over her house for lunch or dinner or anything. And I told her one of the things that's kind of cool about this, we got to find the positives in what we're doing right now. And we might be able to do some art where you could work on it in the kitchen. So that's something that we don't really have that advantage of in the classroom, but we might be able to do that during this time at home. So I'm a little nervous, I'm a little excited, and I'm also, kind of wondering what's going to happen. It's kind of a new experience for all of us. It might turn out really great. All right.
I think looking for the positives is like always important. And just like Mr. Panny said, we're learning this just right along with you, how you are learning it. So we'll figure it out together.
Yeah.
I think I have one more important thing before I get the reveal on yours.
I see it, and I'm kind of laughing because we never discussed what we were going to put in our art, and mine, I have some similar things in mind, but I see the world there by your shoulder.
I do. I love the earth, and that's one great thing about this time being at home is I've been really so much more aware of just little things in nature that maybe we would just notice, like so many robins out and so many swallows last night, I think eating mosquitoes. And they just, when I go on my walks, I notice all the little flowers that are blooming, all the little buds on the trees starting to grow. And it's a time for us to look at things in a different way.
Yeah, you know what? Your camera just focused, and so could you bring your
Oh,
arm closer so the kids can see? Because now it's really clear. Yeah, now we can see it really well. And then kind of move it down a little bit so we can see that kitchen drawing you did.
all right. I got to curve it a little bit.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because we couldn't see all the details before. Now I can really see all the detail, all the words and everything you wrote. Cooking is cool. I love it.
Well, and kids, here's the deal. This is our first video together. So it's exciting that we get to figure out something new, and all these little things like focus and all that. We'll figure it out, and we're going to get to see you on Fridays. Can I see yours now, Mr. Panny?
Yes. Okay. So I tried to dress a little bit like my portrait. So I did my hair curly, let it go all wild. And then I realized when I was working on it that I've never done a portrait with my glasses on. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get new contacts because I don't know when the eyeglass place is going to open up for me to have my exam. So a time might come where I don't have any more contact lenses and I have to wear my glasses, which I don't normally wear them in school because they kind of slide around and I have to tip my head down so much to talk to the students. But I don't know. You guys might see me wear my glasses someday. We'll see. All right.
I think it's good. I mean, some people wear glasses just for an accessory.
Well,
I can't wait to see you in them.
I tell my students that I think about glasses as like jewelry for your face. So yeah, kind of adds some interesting to your face.
Oh my, I love seeing the reveal of your self-portrait. And what's so cool, before I ask any questions about it, is since we've known each other for a long time, I keep looking at things and thinking, I know that about her, or that's something I didn't know about her. So art can really tell a big part of a story for the person who's doing the art or for the person who's viewing the art. Can I start wherever, Mr. Panny?
Start wherever. Yeah, I'm sure you can kind of guess on a couple of things here, but
I see the world, and that was something we had in common. And I like how you added that plane kind of looking like it's heading from somewhere and somewhere else. Art takes me places.
yeah,
Sure does.
But art makes me grow, and I put art takes me places. So that was pretty coincidental.
And what's one place in the world that you've been that really makes you feel like art was the reason why you went there?
Well, definitely. Before I started teaching at Allen Park, I actually taught for 2 years in Mexico. So when I graduated college, I decided to go and teach at a school in Mexico, and art definitely took me there because I got a job teaching art. And I was able to travel all over the country there and see the pyramids that they had built. And there's so much history in that country. And I think I travel a lot now because I want to see new art all over the world. I went to Denmark last summer and I wanted to see these kind of wooden giant sculptures. So sometimes I'll find a piece of art somewhere in the world and I want to take a journey to go see it. But I would say definitely Mexico, art took me there for sure.
That's what's so cool about art, is it's one thing that connects us no matter where you are in the world. So there's a lot more places to go for your journeys and for your destinations. That turtle is interesting to me.
Yeah.
In another life, I'd probably be a fish or a turtle. I know that a fish is usually your spirit animal. Mine's usually a bird. So it also was reminding me about our Art for the Sky project when we were going turtle crazy, and wherever I went, I found painted turtles. I've got some funny stories about that for another time. Tell me about the turtle fish thing, Mr. Panny.
Well, you are reading my mind, which happens a lot. I wanted to represent my spirit animal because a lot of times when we are planning lessons for you guys, I'm always bringing up water lessons or fish or seascapes, and Mrs. Cunningham is always wanting to do birds, and so that's kind of a joke between the two of us. But I decided to do the turtle because it popped in my head that a lot of these Benny artists, they might recognize me, or my Linneman kids might recognize you, because it wasn't that long ago that we did our Art for the Sky, where we did our giant turtle. And I know Mrs. Cunningham, she's in her kind of studio room and I'm in mine. And right over there on my wall, that turtle, it's like a string art. That was a gift from one of my students when we did our Art for the Sky. So it was kind of a thank you present. And I'm sure my student Emma and her family, they're going to watch this. So that turtle up there kind of reminded me, and that's how it ended up in my art.
Art is the best gift. That's so cool that Emma did that for you. Moving on to, I'm going down to the plants make me smile. And Mr. Panny, I have to tell you, I rescued the Monstera plant that you planted for me, and now I have it in the studio space. So tell me about your love of plants.
You rescued our Monstera plant from Arno?
From Benny, the one you gave me from there.
Benny, yeah, because we have them. Yeah, we have them at all three schools. Yeah. Well, plants are kind of a new thing for me, so I'm learning about plants. I'm learning, which ones work with the areas of my classroom and my home. So my house doesn't get a ton of light, so I have to kind of choose my plants carefully. But this plant right here, this is a snake plant, and I have found that this one will grow anywhere, and you can forget to water it for like a long time. So that is a good plant for me. And I know I have a couple in my classroom, and I think that they're doing okay there too, because they're pretty strong. It's kind of a good plant. I don't know, as like a symbolic thing of just being kind of strong and resilient, because it'll survive anything.
Mm, that's a good symbol. I know you love to read, and I see some books up there. I think we're both in a book club.
Mm-hmm, yep, I do love to read. My nephew made a joke that Auntie, which is me, is always at the library. And so I kind of wrote that here. I always visit the library, always. Always checking out books. I'm always getting books from the library for our lessons. And then I have quite a few books that I pick up at museums and things. And so I'm trying to make it one of my goals to spend more time reading these books. And I was thinking maybe I could share some of these stories with our students too. That might be kind of cool. This one's called Artists and Pets. So I'm sure there's some neat stuff in here. And then this other book is actually my art journal. And some of the kids might recognize that term because we talked about that in our Google Classroom.
We sure did.
I put an assignment in there. And so I put that in there because I keep my own journal. And some days I write a lot. And some days it's more art-based. And sometimes I put photographs in it too. So this is when my family, we did a little art tour around Detroit. And some days I just kind of make some shapes and some lines. But I've really been keeping track of kind of my journey through this time at home in my art journal. This is my family. We were doing like a virtual Easter meeting. And so we snapped this photo of the computer screen, and I really love the way it turned out. And this is actually when I would wipe my paintbrush and my paper towel. I thought it was so pretty. I cut that out and put that in there. So I think it's kind of a cool way to kind of document how we're feeling, what happens during our days. So much is happening, and I have a little entry in here. I play games with my family, and I don't want to forget that. So it's kind of a neat way to document a cool memory. And also you get those creative juices going. So
it kind of reminds me of a time capsule in a way. And I just got an email from my friend Jessica at Benny, and she and her mom Katie were working on a time capsule, and she shared some artwork that she was doing. And so I agree, artists really do artwork about things that are happening around them. And I've been really impressed that you are so always diligent in working in your journal, and that you share some of the things inside of it with me. So I appreciate that. Volleyball. I know you are have been a volleyball coach and have played volleyball as well. And that's something you have in common with my daughter, because she loved volleyball as well.
Yeah, I mean, we both like to be active. I know that we like to go on walks and runs, you and I. But volleyball, it's a huge part of my life, and it's definitely something I'm missing, because not only do I like playing the sport and being competitive, but I have a lot of friends I see during my volleyball leagues that I haven't seen in a couple of weeks. So I did put that in there because it is something I'm kind of missing.
Well, and teams are important so that you have a relationship with other people that like things like you. And it's also really good to be able to learn a lot through sports and how you play together and how you interact in a team. And we can do that through art too. We'll do that in our lessons. And I know Sadie well. That's the name of your dog, isn't it?
It's Sadie. Yeah, I put a little picture for Sadie down here, and I was hoping that she would join us for this video, but she's just having kind of an off day. I think because I was working in here this morning, and she's just kind of unsure about what's going on. And so when I'm doing something different, it kind of throws her off. So I didn't want
Another time.
yeah, I didn't want her to bark on our video, so I let her go upstairs because that's what she wanted to do right now, which is fine.
I'll bring Sunny and Ben in at some point, but they're kind of wild, so they'll probably come in on their own at some point.
It'll be unexpected.
Totally. That's life.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here, Mr. Penny?
Is there anything else that you want to share with the kids about what you've been doing at home?
I think that's a good start. I'd like to leave a little bit of mystery for the next conversation.
True.
But I have been doing art with my son. Maybe next week I'll share some pictures that we've been doing together. And like I said, I've been cooking a lot. And I think on my video on our Benny's or on our specials page, there was a video posted. I might have had a word or two about what kind of projects I was working on. I did a painting of a robin and stuff like that. So I've been kind of being inspired by whatever comes my way on a certain day.
Interesting. I have also been cooking. I've been kind of surprising myself with some of the things. It's almost like I'm kind of creating little works of art in the kitchen and being really creative with the stuff that I have here. So a lot of times I don't have the time to do it or the time to spend a lot of time on it. So I'm kind of enjoying that.
Enjoying new things is important. So is there something that we should have these artists kind of look forward to for our video next Friday so we can get going on a project?
Definitely. So this was kind of our introduction video so you guys could get to know us. But we also wanted to give you a heads up of some things around the house that you could gather up, or maybe if someone's making a trip to the store, you could pick something up. We were thinking, we've been brainstorming a little bit, that we might do a little sculpture next week. And so we're actually going to be making our own kind of clay dough mixture. And for that, it's really simple. You just need flour, salt, and water. So just as long as you have maybe a cup or a half cup of each of those. If you've been doing a lot of baking, you might have to go to the store and pick up some more flour. So we wanted to give you guys a little information on that so you can check your pantry and keep that in mind. But always our art videos, they're going to be in our classroom. So if you can't do an art project one week because you don't have the stuff, you know, it'll still be there. It's not going to disappear. You could do the sculpture in a week or two when you have the things. I just remember one thing I forgot about my my art though. I tried a new technique here that we were experimenting with for you guys at home. So I actually did not do any painting on this with watercolor paint. I used markers, and I just got a paintbrush and a little cup of water, and I colored on a piece of tin foil with my marker. And when I put the wet brush on it, it made like a watercolor paint. So that's how I painted all my hair, all these pretty dots in the background, and the stripes on my shirt. So you guys could always kind of experiment with that because we might pull that out, that technique out in one of our lessons. So if you're looking for something new to do and you don't have any paints, that is a way that you could make some paint, watercolor paint.
I also use the same technique as you. But I started with crayon first because I like to mix materials. Kind of makes it, for me, feel a little bit like more in depth or more interesting or have some more texture when I'm working. But I did notice when I was doing those watercolors on the tin foil with my markers and my brush that it used up a lot of my marker. So what I did was I went through my markers and I kind of got the ones that were like, didn't have a lot of ink left in them, and I set those aside, and those are the ones I experimented with on my self-portrait. So I kind of wanted to save my really good stuff, and I didn't want to make it to suck up all the ink from my markers. So it's awesome that we are going to be working with some new techniques, and along the way, we're going to teach you some household things that you can use that were made for one thing, but you can use them in a different way and create something else with them.
Very
I'm
cool.
thinking that another thing that you might want to start looking for or kind of collecting in your house are just some things that are useful. Often looking in the recycling bin is a great place to start. For instance, if you gather up some old boxes that are, clean and dry, don't know what I'm going to do with this yet, but I know that it's useful.
I like the bright colors on that box. So I would definitely look for some stuff that has bright colors, because I think that's coming in handy in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you could think about how would I use this material on the outside, or what could I do if I opened it up and use the cardboard part as well. Egg cartons are a really good thing to hold on to. I have some ideas with this. Piece of styrofoam is good in case you need to mix something, or you need to put your water bowl on top of something so it doesn't get messy somewhere else. This is a good thing to do if it's clean and dry. And I found a shoe box, which is like gold to me, because now I have either a vessel that I can make something whole, or I've got two halves of something that I could turn into something else. So what I've done is I've started to kind of just pile up a little area in one of my spare bedrooms, and I'm kind of just keeping all those things, and I'm knowing that when we do our videos, I'll be able to go to that space and find some of the things that I need.
Very cool. Trying to think. I had a thought in my head and it just disappeared. I'm definitely feeling excited about all the things that we're going to be doing with these kids, and I'm hoping that maybe our portraits inspired them to kind of do a portrait about the things maybe they're doing at home, stuff they've done with their family over the last couple of weeks. Oh, I know what it was. Boys and girls, if you are making art at home, we definitely want to see it. So we are going to put some information in our Google Classroom of different ways that you can reach us to send us your wonderful works of art, because that is kind of the part that I am missing the most. I'm definitely missing our fun conversations and all the cool interactions and problem solving that we do in the classroom, but I definitely want to see your art. I know that's going to keep me going, and I'm sure Mrs. Cunningham as well.
And kind of as we wrap it up, I'm just remembering, because I see a picture of, or a portrait of, Frida Kahlo, famous Mexican artist that loved to do self-portraits. I received the most amazing photograph of Frida Kahlo made into a pirate. I think I'll try to share that. One of my amazing students, Izzy at Arno, sent me the picture through my Google Classroom. Awesome.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. We could share some art maybe on some of these videos. That might be kind of cool, like a virtual gallery or something. I'm liking that idea.
I think that's a good idea. I think we should wrap it up because we have some other things to think about, because we've got some planning to do for next week's videos. You'll be getting 2 every week. So if you are an older brother or sister or cousin and you have some younger kids at home, you'll have 2 different options. And if you're younger and you want to try to go up and do the older projects with your big brothers and sisters or cousins, whoever in your house, then you'll be able to have 2 options that you can do. And like Mr. Penny said, they're going to be left there. So if you want to circle back to something or try something another time, it'll be kind of a record or kind of a library of videos that you'll have a choice from. So Mr. Penny, I think I should sign off. And I want to thank you so much for taking time today to get all the videotaping in order. Mr. Penny is really good at that. And I was excited to work on the project today and to definitely see what you did. And I think what I'm going to do is like keep all my projects and start hanging them somewhere so that when we're through the end of this portion, we'll kind of be able to go back and see what our own gallery looks like.
Yeah, I love that. I have a kind of a blank wall I'm looking at right now, so maybe I'll kind of make my own gallery of all the things we've created.
Not blank for long, I'm saying.
Yeah, I love seeing your art too, and I'm not surprised, but I love that we kind of, even though we didn't share anything about what we were putting in our art, there were some similar parts. So that just shows you boys and girls how we really think alike. So I think it'll be kind of a cool opportunity for us all working together. And with that, I'm sure you're feeling super inspired, and so am I. So we should all go, and we will see you next week. Nice to meet you. I haven't met you yet.
Nice to meet you, Lindemann.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.